Justice. Oh, how we revere her. Blindfolded, serene, scales in hand, a promise often cast in marble and ink, but justice, real justice, has rarely been so graceful. You see, for most of human history, justice has worn many faces, and not all of them are kind. In ancient Egypt, an example, she was Ma'at, order against chaos, but her judgments bowed to the pharaohs. In Greece, Plato dreamed of her pure, each soul doing its part, reason reigning. But even Athens, the birthplace of democracy, condemned the great Socrates to die for just daring to question social norms. Justice has often been less a virtue and more of a verdict, in the shadow of crosses on Roman hillsides or beneath the gavel in witch trials where silence was guilt, in courtrooms where skin color sealed fates before a single word was spoken. Still, we keep crafting her image, perhaps not to reflect what she is, but what we hope she could be. And in 2022, from the windswept rocks of Gibraltar, a guardian of the Mediterranean, as a pillar of Hercules, gateway between continents, came this coin, an antique silver coin, 1 ounce of minted idealism, and on it, of course, Lady Justice, blindfolded again, holding her scales. In my mind, she's not blind to suffering, she's blind to bias. She's not weighed down by vengeance as her scales search for balance. You see, this coin reminds me that coins should not just be bullion. The value is not just silver. It's an idea, a memory, and in many cases a mirror. A reminder that while justice has often been twisted to serve power, it is still worth pursuing. The good is always worth pursuing. History tells us that justice has been hijacked by humans, used to silence prophets, to crush the weak, or to justify wars. But she's also been the banner under which nations have risen, the cry of the oppressed, the dream of dreamers, and the resolution, of course, to conflict. And maybe that's why we still seek her, because justice at her best doesn't serve the strong. She restrains them. And justice doesn't avenge the weak. She protects them. This, folks, is why I love world bullion coins. This is why I'm a collector more than a stacker. I love the shine of silver like anybody else, but it is really the internal reflection that brings me joy. The wealth of knowing the history and cultures of people around the world has been immensely blessing to me. This coin is an idea that all humanity wrestles with, from toddlers toiling with trinkets taken from another to seeing a coworker eat your lunch left in the fridge. Justice beckons us almost as a temptation for revenge, but we must be careful not to dehumanize our oppressor in an attempt to rectify a workable solution. But that is a video for a different time. Today, we are here to place this coin on our 60-point scale to see if it's right for you and your collection. When we look at the obverse, we are met with one of the coolest coats of arms in all of Europe. This is the Seal of Gibraltar. I have a video over the iconography of this nation on my War Elephant video, which is well worth your time. What would normally just be a mirrored background is elevated with shades and texture, as we have this antiqued version, which really elevates the look and eliminates milk spots from being an issue, which of course I love. One worry I had when ordering was if an antiqued version would lose detail, and it seems that all the details of the strike are intact, which I am very grateful. I absolutely love this design, and I scored a 10. When we move to the reverse, we are met with Lady Justice, of course. Her namesake is bold in the field, as well as in a touch of Latin right there, as it says Fides et Justitia, which means faith and justice. Faith makes sense, as Gibraltar would have influences of a couple of major religions in its day. In this case, we see 7 stars, which is usually a nod to biblical numerology, 7 meaning in all things or in completion. Many Trinitarian scholars also believe it's the combination of 3 and 4, 3 being the Trinity, and being the natural old world elements of earth, fire, wind, and water, God in all things. Either way, it's well designed as a coin and on the merit of justice. As we see, she is blind and holding scales, brandishing a double-edged sword. I'm beyond happy with the way the antiquing adds depth and character to every millimeter of this coin, and I can tell you that the unantiqued version would probably have left me a little less satisfied. I love the design, and I scored a 10. Mintage is our next category, and it is a great place to judge the merits of this coin. Often in bullion, which feature an antiqued variation, we see a reduction in mintage. This is no exception. The standard 2022 Justice has a mintage of 100,000, whereas this version is a tenth of that, only minting 10,000, which is simply fantastic and scores a 9. Cultural significance is next. Justice is a theme as old as humanity. We see it displayed in infancy, showing that impulsivity will reign until structure and fairness is added to the mix. Justice in Gibraltar is even more important, as the history of this land will tell you. It is only with justice that nations were able to strike an agreement which created the very unique structure reflected in Gibraltar, most notably between the Spanish and the English. It is a very interesting nation, and without justice, it would likely have been a place where wars or conflict would still be fought, as it is, as far as geography goes, one of the most important areas of the world, as it is a gateway to the Mediterranean. I scored a 10. Now for collectability. It seems the market of antiqued coins is moving in the right direction, but it is not a kookaburra level. As a Scottsdale Mint product, we know the merits of quality are high. It has a low mintage as well, and it is well crafted and antiqued, of course. I think the theme is great, and I think overall it should land an 8 for collectability. Uniqueness is our last category. Justice is a theme that has been issued on coinage for some time, as we've seen justice referred back to 100 AD in the Roman Empire. And this time, it is often on national coinage as a tenet of pride and government fairness. It is not as often used in bullion coins, and it is the only series I know to have an antiqued variety, so I scored an 8, bringing us to our final thoughts and score. The Lady Justice is balanced blindly across the line at an elite 55 out of 60, which is an extremely high grade and shows that this coin is worthy of all collections. It would also be a fantastic gift for anyone in the judicial or criminal systems, as it is a core tenet of those institutions. Thank you so much for learning with us today, and as always, please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.